My father kicked in the front door like a drunk stranger. He didn't recognize the place, even though he built it with his own hands. The locks had been changed, the furniture gone, curtains replaced, floors polished, even the smell of jasmine gone. All that remained was the echo of his boots as he stumbled into what used to be our family's country home. The look on his face when I stepped out of the shadows, I'll never forget it. He didn't know I bought it. He didn't know I sold it. He didn't know he'd lost. But he was about to. I grew up in that house. My blood is in its floorboards, from scraped knees and split knuckles. My laughter filled the halls. My tears watered the soil out back. It was mine in every way that mattered. Until Mom said, "Your sister's expecting. She needs her own space." And just like that, I became expendable. They wanted to sell the house, my house, to buy her an apartment in the city. Something modern, something suitable for a family. My sister was pregnant and spoiled, the worst kind of combination. And my parents, God, they didn't ask, they informed. She deserves it, Mom said, like justice was a one-way mirror. It's just a house, Dad added. Just a house. Funny how people only say that about things that don't belong to them. They called a realtor 2 days later. What they didn't know was the deed wasn't clean. Years ago, when Dad was drinking too much and borrowing even more, he transferred half the property into my name to dodge tax issues. He forgot. I didn't. So while they were drafting their plans, listing prices, baby room themes, Pinterest boards, I called a lawyer. And I sold my half. Not just to anyone, to a holding company I created under a friend's name. 6 figures, all clean, all legal. Then I waited. The day the deal closed, Mom sent a group message. "Good news! We're closing on the apartment next week." I replied, "Good luck." She didn't understand what I meant. She would. 2 weeks later, the buyers of my half took possession. A quiet couple, no kids, no fuss, just cash. They moved in while my parents were out of town, boxing up essentials for the big move. And when they came back, my father's key didn't work. The locks had changed. That was step 1. Step 2 was Dad breaking in like a damn burglar, which gave the new owners just enough reason to call the police. Trespassing, disorderly conduct, resisting arrest. When they cuffed him on his own front lawn, he looked at me like I was a ghost. But I wasn't. I was justice. Back when I was 12, I remember Dad telling me, family doesn't steal from family. I believed him. So when they first told me they were selling the house without even involving me, I waited. Waited for one of them to remember I existed. They didn't. It's one thing to favor a sibling, it's another to erase the other. After Dad's arrest, Mom called in hysterics. "Why would you do this?" I stayed calm. My voice was flat. "You mean sell my half of the house?" Silence. Then a crack in her tone. "You didn't have to do it like this." But I did. Because if I hadn't, they would have cashed in the one place that held every piece of me to give my sister granite countertops and walk-in closets. Because she's having a baby. I'm not bitter about the baby. I'm bitter about what they thought I was worth. Apparently, a down payment. I visited Dad 2 days later. His hands trembled, not from fear, but from shame. Finally, he understood. "You set me up." I nodded. "You left me no choice." He exhaled like a man watching everything crumble, not because of an enemy, but because of a son. "I built that house," he whispered. I stared at him for a long time before answering. "And I made it a home. Until you tried to gut it." My sister never called. She probably knew better. She got her apartment, a smaller one, less shiny, and eventually gave birth to a baby boy. They named him after my father. Fitting. He too will learn how men like us make mistakes, bury them, and then act surprised when they sprout into storms. I don't miss the house, not anymore, because what I took back wasn't wood and stone, it was power. They thought I'd roll over, sacrifice, smile while they handed over my memories for someone else's future. Instead, I reminded them who I am. Not the forgotten son, not the backup plan. The one who knows the fine print. The one who listens, then acts. These days, I live in a quiet apartment overlooking the sea. Small, simple, mine. Every morning, I make coffee and think about that house, not with regret, with satisfaction. Because revenge doesn't have to be loud. Sometimes it's just the sound of a door closing with your key.